Hi everyone and welcome back to another Working Out Game video. Today's video is dedicated to counter side feature banners, so let's go ahead and jump right into this. One of the first things being, as you already know, we already have this banner. Alright, now when it comes to this order, this is the original like TW or Taiwan schedule. They got Yumi Lee and Kang So-young first, and these banners actually didn't arrive for us, and we got, you know, Karen Wong and Ju Shi-young. I was actually going to make a video like preemptively saying like this is a banner that's worthy to pull on. Now we don't have that, so it's kind of like topsy-turvy in some ways. And also here's going to be a spreadsheet from Meow. He created this to give us like a sort of timeline for the events and what's going to be appearing. This is what also appeared in TW, so I'll leave this in the description as well. Really want to talk about them briefly because they were decent in their own right, but Kang So-young is going to be a farmable character, as you can see here. Lee Yumi is not. Now when it comes to Kang So-young, she's going to be a quintessential unit for soldier units. Soldier units will receive less damage and also more attack power, and then she also has like this AoE where she drives a car into people. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at her abilities. Here's Kang So-young in the game originally. This is going to be one of her skins. Let's go ahead and run her and see her abilities. If you ever want to run a soldier team or a non-counter team, this is going to be like a fun thing to do. Just note, when you are offering like soldier and mech teams, they're never going to be truly meta. Thing is you're going to have more fun trying to run them because they're going to be very different from everyone else. So that's going to be like her deployment right there, where she launches a car at someone, and note that she doesn't have any like skills because she's not a counter unit, and this is what's going to be happening. It's very interesting. She actually launched a unit when she appeared on the map, so you can see here there's like a stronghold. I wonder if that happens again or if that's just a general thing that happens, but this is going to be Kang So-young. Decent soldier unit overall. Let's go ahead and cover Yi Lu-mi. Yi Lu-mi is going to be a little bit better in some ways and one of the few defenders. We're also going to be referencing this list. This was created by Ann Tiller, but the original author was by Honey. They just pretty much snazzed it up and made it look better, which I greatly appreciate. It's very difficult to do these things. You can see here as of like April 21st when this was like initially created, or April 30th of 2021. This is going to be a very good reference for us as well, for players who are like, hey, what's the future meta looking like? Lee Yumi is going to be a good like counter unit, as we talked about earlier. And then here's going to be Lee Yumi. When she appears, she's going to have evasion increased by 50%, which is absolutely amazing. She's essentially invincible for the first 20 seconds when she jumps into the fight, and then turn body forward, attack AoE. Enemies will have an accuracy reduction of 30% and get taunted for 5 seconds, which is absolutely amazing, especially for a tank. And then cut the sword around, deal AoE damage, and gain 50% evasion again. So she's going to have a lot of evasion for a tank, which is actually pretty cool. Let's go ahead and look at some of her abilities. I think this character is going to be nice for folks who are sort of on a budget, who don't want to go like too crazy on, you know, building soldier and mech teams. Even though mech teams are sort of free to play, we'll cover mech teams more in the future, but let's go ahead and look at Yumi Lee. This is going to be her skins. Very interesting. I like this one, so we're going to be running her summer version. And briefly looking over her abilities, she's only like one of the 2 tanks counter wise, and that alone is going to make her really amazing. Wow, this skin looks absolutely dope. This is way more than I expected for a character that released in the very beginning. First skill right there. And then let's go ahead and cast her UB. Okay, let's get it. All right, what is this going to be? Cast a little whistle. Wow, that looks pretty cool. Like, it's just like a million slashes right there, and then she does like the little like clean the blade like a samurai. I think she definitely has like a place within like the metas and everything. And when it comes down to this, the other unit that's going to be good is going to be Seraphel, but we'll cover her later. She's not going to be appearing for a while. So that's going to be the first banner that we should have gotten but we didn't get, so maybe we'll get it in the future, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll get it after Karen Wong and Ju Shi-young, who knows. All right, the next banner is going to be the Federal Bureau. Now when it comes to these 2 characters, they're going to be soldier units as well, so they're going to be a little bit different. Let's go ahead and look for their banner. It's going to be something like this. I guess they appeared with like Ju Shi-young like when it came to KR. This is going to be the Bureau Inspector. She's going to get increased evasion, and as you skill her up, her evasion is going to increase over time as well, and then her critical hit occurs with each 4 attacks. I think overall she's going to be an absolutely busted character within the meta. A striker that can increase their own evasion, and then a striker that can always this crit. That's gonna make like soldier meta much more of a thing than it currently is, because soldier meta, it's kind of hard to use. With the Vera units, it's definitely going to change. All right, this is going to be the Vera Inspector. She looks absolutely amazing. Definitely nice assets, right? And then let's go ahead and jump into her skills and see how she's going to work. Just note that since she is a soldier unit, she's not going to be getting any like crazy skills, so she deploys right there as 2 people, because that's how soldiers work. There's going to be multiples of them, and as you can see here, like slowly and slowly, like they're just generating like more crits, and they're going to be like evading a lot of attacks. Soldier units, they're pretty straightforward. They're not as flashy as the counter units. In some ways, I can understand why folks don't want to run them. So this is going to be Vera Shield Soldier. He's going to be the premier tank that's going to, in some ways, make Estarossa not as viable, because his basic attack makes it so that he can taunt enemies for 3 seconds, which is absolutely nutty. I'm pretty sure this is going to be on a cooldown, because all he does is his basic attack. And then the next thing, he's going to take damage reduction from strike. As a tank, that's absolutely phenomenal. That means he can essentially like defend like all of your units. I feel like everyone can sort of use like this soldier on your teams. Let's go ahead and see what he's going to be looking like. Probably going to be very straightforward. Here's going to be the Vera Shielder, and this is probably all that he's going to do right here. As you can see, just basic dudes like slamming shields into the enemies, but overall I think he'll be like more functionally useful, and he'll probably take out like Estarossa or be a very good combatant against like most strikers, because strikers are an issue, and this guy being able to constantly taunt enemies, as you can see, they're constantly being taunted, like that's absolutely overpowered. Next guy being Administration Vera. This is different from the other like soldier unit, the Inspector, and he's pretty much just going to increase his attack as he like does things. He's just going to be a ranger unit. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm pretty sure he's just going to like shoot his like guns off, and it's going to be like a basic ranger that keeps multiplying his damage over time. The reason being why I wanted to cover the Vera units, because the Vera units are going to make soldiers like more viable in the future. They're going to be essentially like the backbone like to these characters, because they have like the most DPS, they have like the most capabilities. And then here's going to be the ranger for the Vera section. And then really quick covering like the tier list, you can see Vera Inspector is still definitely a overachiever. And then when it comes to like viable SRs, you're definitely going to see the Vera Shield Soldier right there, and then the Vera Administrator, as we just covered earlier. All right, so that's going to be like the Vera banner that might also appear after like the Yumi. I just want to cover this really quick because we didn't talk about it earlier. Anything circled in blue means they're great for PvE, and they're decent for PvP. They won't fall off, they're just going to be decent, they're going to be usable. Anything circled in green means they're going to be great for PvE, but note that they will fall off in PvP, as there's going to be much better options than them. And then anything circled in red means they're purely for PvP. They can have niche uses in PvE, so there's that, but mostly for PvP situations, so it's up to you. And anything without a circle, they're not really recommended to pull on. And let's go ahead and cover this banner right here. This is going to be the Awaken banner with Frederica and Awaken Hilda and Lee Ji-soon. Hopefully that's going to be her name, but let's go ahead and cover Frederica. Her normal attack, she's just going to attack someone closest to her. Her passive skill, she's going to increase her attack every single time she kills someone. Note that when she is redeployed or if she dies, she keeps her stacks, so don't worry about that. Probably phenomenal in PvE, very situational in PvP. And then her second ability is going to be an AoE range attack. It's going to be really cool. I love the animations for this. And then her ultimate skill, she's going to deal massive damage to the front 3 and then lift them up into the air, so that's going to be some CC. And note that when she shoots her lasers off, it's also going to be a CC in some ways. This is going to be her summer skin. This is going to be her meme skin. Let's go ahead and look at her summer skin, because summer stuff, this is going to be like the premium deal, and I just like seeing the characters at their best with like these extra designs and everything. So Frederica appears here in a beach chair, and you can see right there she launches some lasers similar to Gilgamesh from the FGO series. Maybe she'll cast it again right there. Ooh, very nice. I like that. Let's go ahead and cover her ultimate skill right here. So she gets a little bit of like a bell going on, and then she launches like geysers that pretty much push the enemy up into the air. I like that. It's like these simple things that make characters really like stand out from each other. Go ahead and cast that geyser one more time. She has like a little sword right there that she also like swipes. Overall thoughts on Frederica, I think she's going to be worthy to pull on, mostly because she has a lot of CC, a lot of AoE capability and pushback, and she's also going to be in the air. And she is going to be a ranger unit, but there's not very many ranger units that can fly, especially counter wise. So let's go ahead and go back and cover the banners. Just note that Awaken units have a lot of caveats with them. Let's go ahead and cover Lee Ji-soon. She's going to actually be free from a bingo system. Just note that I'm not sure how this bingo system works, if it's pay to win or what have you, but we'll see like how this pretty much flows goes as we get this in the game, and who knows if we even get this, so I don't want to get everyone's hopes up. Next thing you know, like C doesn't get it. You know, they shaft us, but in C they usually don't do that. And then when it comes to Hilda, she's going to be pullable, you know, 2750 quartz. She's going to be the premier tank, one of the strongest in the game until Na Yu Bin appears. If you are wondering like how that's going to be appearing, so this is going to be Hilda right here, and then Lee Ju-si, she's going to be like strong but very situational because she's essentially a debuffer slash stripper. And then as you can see, Na Yu Bin is going to be one of the king of tanks, a PvP god. But let's go ahead and cover their skills and look at them. Now when it comes to Hilda, you can see here she's going to be costing 6 energy to cast, and this is why awakened units have a caveat. You can't run too many awakened units because there's other units that are going to be costing like 2 energy, 3 energy, and when you essentially deploy someone like Hilda, you're deploying 2 units at once, so she better have enough like bang for buck so that she can last for 2 units, like essentially dropping on the field. This is where awakened units are very situational. Now when it comes to Hilda, when she appears on the field, she's going to knock everyone back, and then she's also going to push everyone and give like a huge taunt. Hilda's first ability is she's going to drop in 8 meters surrounding her, everyone's going to be knocked back. She's going to dash forward and then also taunt the enemies. Absolutely amazing, right? And then her first skill is going to be slamming the ground and gaining a shield, making her immune to CC, quite low, but still going to make her a very viable like CC tank in some ways. And then she's going to rush forward and cause damage to the front and reduce her own damage 20% for 12 seconds when she does her ultimate skill. So this is going to be Awakened Hilda. She sort of reminds me of like an angelic character right now, and then this is going to be her in her summer, or like I guess like bridal form in some ways. But let's go ahead and cover her actual abilities with premium skin that comes with Awakened Hilda. Personally, I like Hilda and her initial animations, and I think that she's just going to be one of the greatest waifus. Design wise, she's absolutely amazing. You can see here the chandeliers that appear as soon as she drops, the little dash, and then her second skill or first skill pretty much popping right there where she does another dash on her initial appearance. Absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and do it one more time because I feel like it deserves a replay. Look at that, the chandeliers in the air when she jumps. This is absolutely like angelic, beautiful, everything that I would want from an awakened version of Hilda. If you're wondering, there's sort of like ML units, alternate forms in some ways. Maybe they come from like a parallel universe, who knows? Check out the story when it pretty much drops. All right, let's go ahead and cast her ultimate skill right here. What's it going to be looking like? I love that. I think it looks absolutely amazing for her character design, and the chandeliers appearing in the sky, it just makes her that much more angelic, as she's going to be main female lead in this game. So Awakened Hilda, absolutely amazing unit. Can't wait to pull for her, and as you can see, she keeps generating a barrier to keep herself alive. All right, let's go ahead and cover Lee Ju-si. Now when it comes to her, she's going to be dealing a massive AoE attack to the front, similar to like every single unit in the game. They pretty much appear and they deal like massive AoE, and then when she appears on the battlefield, she's going to make it so that enemies will recover 75% less. Attack speed of enemies, rangers, strikers, and snipers, pretty much everyone, going to be minus 15%. So essentially if you're a support, you're fine, but you know, supports don't really deal that much damage, so just her mere presence is going to make everyone very tanky. And then her first skill, an invisible speed slash that reduces the target's attack by 20% for 10 seconds, and then her complicated ultimate skill, she essentially does a slash that hits the targets, receives debuffs that remove all of their buffs and jam them from receiving any buffs. So she strips all buffs and then she makes it so that you can't buff, and then if she kills you with this, she's going to gain 10% debuff for herself. All right, so she's going to make herself even more tankier. Note that when we look at Lee Ji-soo, she's not going to be like a tank, she's more of like a stripper, she's more of like a very situational unit. So if someone else is running more buffs and you see that, then she's going to be the character that you're going to want to drop for that situation. Go ahead and look at her summer skin. Wow, this is that was more than I expected from her. All right, let's go ahead and see how this is going to be running right here. I'm excited to have like a stripper unit in some ways, even though there's not really a buff meta that's going to appear. I didn't see any buff units in the game. I guess she is actually a good counter technically to Hilda in some way. Let's go ahead and see how she's going to be appearing. Absolutely phenomenal entrance right there, and she has like that little like AoEs. What is that? That is really cool. Look, the designs in this game, they're absolutely amazing. I feel like Awaken units, they're just a leagues ahead of like character animations. Can we cast like that first skill right there again? Very nice. I like that. It's just clean and simple. Let's cast her ultimate skill, hopefully. Okay, what's going to be looking like. That's a nice close-up right there. And a little bit of a slash. Not as like crazy as Hilda in her Awakened form, like when, you know, she had like chandeliers and everything. But I think my main appeal to Lee Ji-soo when she's awakened is definitely going to be when she appears into the fight. This has to be like one of the coolest animations, like just slamming the sword down, creating an effect, making her presence known on the battlefield. So we covered the 3 different banners: Yumi Lee, Vera Banner, Awakened Hilda, and Lee Ji-soo with Frederick Rosalia. If any of the other banners appear, just note that you can check this image whether they're viable or not. The circles pretty much tell you what's going on. And then not to mention, I'll be leaving this in the description as well. This was created by Honey and developed and formed by Antiller. So thank you to Antiller for making it look like this because it's so easy to read. When it comes to this, feel free to save for units and feel free to use your books appropriately. Books are going to be very key to saving when you're trying to get these SSR units in particular. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and jump into the game really quick. So once you go into the recruits right here, make sure to have like a set of these books or employment contracts, as they're going to be mostly used for SSR banners. And then you want to essentially use your quartz for Awaken banners. And when it comes down to everything, if there's ever a banner that you're not really sure to pull on, or if it's not even within this list, just check right here and I'm pretty sure you'll see like some sort of description on at least how the character will work, because overachievers, they're going to be best in class for their specific type. So for example, Edo Miner, she's going to be one of the best sniper units. She's sort of like an undead sort of character. Liud Mila, she's going to be one of the flying types, who's going to be absolutely amazing. Xiaolin, she already speaks for herself, good sniper. Sanai Hayami, she's also a good sniper. Regina McCready, she wasn't that great, but she is one of the better supporters. Just note that Yang Harim is going to be one of the better supporters in the game for a while as well. And then with Lily, and then Seraphel, she's going to be an interesting defender. She's really great for PvP when I initially saw her. Kawang already speaks for himself. Gaiyun has absolute fantastic AoE capabilities, especially with her ultimate skill. I haven't read up on Lee Yuri, so I won't talk about her. Elizabeth Pendragon is our assassin unit, absolutely amazing. If you ever need like a PvP assassin, she's going to be your girl. Frederick Rosalia, absolutely amazing, like air type unit. Veronica, I haven't really seen too much on. Bureau Inspector, she's gonna have insane amounts of evasion. Ayn and Zui, I've ran them both before in KR. The reason why they're so great is because of that 2 energy cost, and they're just gonna be really great strikers that have high evasion. Titan speaks for himself, he's one of the best mech units in the game. Same with Janus. And then when it comes to Ilvet, one of the strongest units when it comes to firepower, and Attack being right behind him. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Once we hit 22,500 subs, we're doing a giveaway. We've already hit like the 20,000 goal and all that stuff. Links in the description if you want to participate. I think today's going to be the last day. In a couple of hours, we'll be doing the tallies. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.